Yes, welcome.
Okay.
Welcome to BPM Blackopolypse. I'm looking forward to this today. Yes.
Thank you. I really appreciate the fact that you asked me. It's kind of like, I've got two teenage boys, and they think it's a real big deal. Well, as I do, but
Yeah. The thing is, I've been watching your pages. Actually, I think it was someone in my circle who follows you.
Right.
And I saw you posting stuff. I was like, yo, this guy's he's clued in, man. He's clued in. He's got his little, little Black Wall Street going on, man. I was like, yeah, man. that's what I was thinking about. So I was like, I got to get you on, because obviously Blackopolypse is about empowering Black people and pushing us up a little bit. Not exclusively, but I like to offer Black people a chance to be a bit more exposed, like in a positive way, because at the moment, how it is with us, we're just like, if we do something bad, they blow it up.
Yeah.
But if we do something good, it's like, hey, you weren't him, it was somebody else.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So Mr. Black, Mr. Problack Nigel. Where you from? London, innit? You're from South London?
Yeah, South London, man. London born and bred. Parents Barbados.
Nice.
Wife Jamaican, boy, my two sons and my two daughters, so I've got teenagers, got growns, but I just think it's important to represent, especially for boys. They need to see that, it's like there's Black men out there who are not as represented by the press.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to talk about sort of like, Black fathers being absent or whatever sort of thing, because that's like a different subject. But it's kind of like it is just important for them to see someone representing them. And, it's everything that I do, everything that you see on my website, quite literally, pretty much everything is done by me. So the website's designed by me, all the content's designed by me. Every word that you see is done by me, and it's really important that I feel that the things that I put out are positive and pro-Black, and to me, it's kind of like leaving a legacy, because everything you put out digitally, you don't know how long it's going to stay up there, sort of thing. So I just think myself that it could be in a month's time, or a year's time, or 10 years time, that someone sees something that I created, and they go, yeah, that's all good. That's what being pro-Black is all about. And that's pretty much it, really.
You know what? Just before we actually get to nitty-gritty of pro-Black, I just want to touch on something about Black fathers, because it's obviously like there's a stigma that follows Black men. To be honest, I saw a study recently that it's actually not really Black men anymore who do like fit into this whole discrimination that we leave our wives and stuff. Now, I don't know if that's because we've decided that we're all going to go into mixed relationships now. We decided to be a bit more committed to the other race. But Black fathers were probably, that was like a couple of generations ago. I don't know if it really your generation. I think it was just after your generation.
I would say so. I've been married for 22 years, coming up 22 years. But I've got two teenage boys from that marriage. Having said that, I've got two grown daughters from a relationship I had before. And obviously I didn't spend as much time with their mother. So I kind of understand where people, sort of how some people may think about that, or think about that subject. But like me personally, I just think to myself, like, I got a second chance to do it right. And again, that's sort of going back to, I'm just trying to do my best. It's like you can't please everybody, and you can't be all things to everybody. But the way I look at it is, if you're true to yourself, then those around you will be brought in, as it were. It's like, if you're happy, everyone else is happy. So I get it. I understand it. There are some, some fathers out there who do just give up, as it were, for whatever reason. But like I said, personally, I just think to myself, I got a second chance, and I'm trying to do it right. And I said, I'm 22 years in, got 2 teenage boys. They're a struggle. I mean, I've got to be there, you know. I mean, like you laugh, but I mean, I wish I could show you. I mean, like in the last week, and then 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago, they had the thing in Hyde Park, where the boy got attacked.
Yeah.
So my oldest son, 16, he was there the day before.
Yo.
And never been there before. Went there with a group of friends. He said he was there 10 minutes before a group of black boys approached them. There's 6 of them, but another group approached them and asked them where they're from. Now, I mean, you're in Hyde Park. I mean, no one's from Hyde Park. So why are you asking me where am I from? You know. But long story short, they took a Gucci or something or some designer hat off of one of his friends and basically showed their weapons and said, if you want it, come and get it. Yep. And that's
how they're going on.
Sorry?
Is that how they're going on in this country?
Yeah, that's it. Literally, just like they don't know you. They're just, I wouldn't be surprised if it was them who done the attack the following day. Yeah. Because it just seems, you know. Yeah. And then again, I say having teenage boys. I'm coming home on Friday. I mean, I haven't put this on Facebook or anything yet because I didn't know how to approach it, and I didn't really want to put my son out there. But coming home, I'm driving by on my road. I've just turned onto my roads, and I'm driving by, and I see 6, 7 policemen. I think 3 vans, 2 cars in a van, with a young black boy. Yeah, they're surrounded, but the boy's taller than them, and my boy's tall. So I thought to myself, let me just turn around and come back because, like, even if it isn't my son, it's still like it seems like over the top. You know, like there's so many policemen. This is only Friday. So I turn around, I come back, and yes, it's my son. Jesus, they've got 6, 7 policemen with my son in handcuffs. Bear in mind, in handcuffs, and they've got his bicycle with him. And I said to them, obviously, why? And they said, well, he fits the description.
Of course, always the same thing, man.
And I said, what's the description? Well, he's got a black bike and he's dressed in black.
Black, yeah.
And I said to him, to be fair, guys, I said like all 6 of you, all 6 of you are dressed in black.
Black, yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? and I said, like, for you, it's like an official uniform, but for young black boys or young boys in general nowadays, dressing in black is kind of like an unofficial uniform. They all do. And to be fair, as a parent, you don't mind because, like, it just makes washing easier, you know? So it's kind of like, so I sort of come and was like, you got to have a better excuse than that, you know what I mean? Yeah. And he says, well, he wouldn't tell me his name. Oh. You know what I mean? And I said, well, okay, this is what his name is. So please take the handcuffs off my son. Yeah. And like one of them was going, no, we're not taking it off until this is cleared up. So I said to him, look, there's a padlock on the bike. I have the key to the padlock on me, on my keys. Yeah. You would think that he would just believe me. I just showed him the keys. No, he took the keys from me and unlocked the padlock to prove that it was his bike or my bike, and then gave it back. And then they took off the handcuffs and released him with nothing more said. You know what I mean? And that was it. I said, a young black boy just riding his bike, a few hundred yards from his house. He's black and he's got a black bike. And they stopped him. Yeah.
It's crazy. So it's just crazy.
This is the world we live in, and it's frightening. You know, it's like, you got on the one hand you've been attacked by your own. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then on the other hand you got the police. Yeah. That's just in like a 2-week period. Yeah. Yeah.
It's hardcore being a black youth. It's kind of weird because I remember when I was young too, man. I remember some kid holding us up, trying to take some stuff off us, but we didn't have anything, so you didn't get nothing. And I remember just thinking, what was that about? What is it? Is it like a pride thing? Is it a power thing? Is it just like fun for them? I don't know. But I'm wondering who is raising these people. Who are telling these guys, look, go and rob somebody. That'll be fun. Go and kill somebody.
Personally, I think it's a generational thing. Again, like, this may come across wrong in some eyes. However, when I'm born here, so like, I'm 60 years old. I was born here, so I can tell you, Thank you. Thank you. But I can tell you that when I was a teenager, you know what I mean? And it was just like, you know, how should I put it? You never robbed your own.
Yeah,
it was just the rule. Like, you never robbed your own. You know what I mean? It's like, it just, you know what I mean? It's like, basically, like we're all poor anyway. So, you know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna rob from each other, sort of thing. Yeah. And it's only, I would say, that probably going into the 80s and 90s that you started seeing things like this, where black kids are robbing black kids, or robbing, you know what I mean, like mugging an old black woman. I mean, that would be like unheard of. I mean, in my day, if you mugged an old black woman and you got caught, oh man, you know what I mean? Like, you'd be in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like there's no rules. There's like, I suppose it's like talking about like the old gangsters with like the craze and whatever.
Yeah.
They all talk about them, and there was rules that rules of engagement, sort of thing, like, you know. But now with kids, there's no rules. I mean, like, they're stabbing each other.
Yeah.
They're, you know, stealing from each other. And why? You know, it's like, you know, it's like we're all in the same boat. I mean, it's like none of us are, you know, it's like, none of us are rich, none of us are flaunting, and anything you have, you work for. You know what I mean? I always say to my boys, I said, like, you own nothing. So everything you have was given to you by someone who worked for it, whether it's me, your mom, your auntie, your uncle, whoever. Someone worked for it, so appreciate it.
Yeah.
So when someone wants to steal something from my boys, or from, you know what I mean, I just find that so unsettling. You know? Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Anyway, I don't know, what do you think we can do? What can we, as, you know, because that's something that is an issue that we have, is this crime. I don't know if it's black on black crime, because I don't like that term, black on black crime.
Yeah,
I think
I've never used it. Yeah.
Because if you live in a majority black, like I'm sure in Africa, you would never call it black on black crime. It would just be crime, wouldn't it? It'd be just crime.
Exactly. That's it. I mean, to me, it's youth on youth crime.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, like there are white kids involved nowadays as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I totally get that. But, you know, in terms of like what you can do, again, going back to when I was a kid, I had things to do. You know what I mean? It's just like, I mean, like, single parent. My mum worked shifts. So sometimes she'd be home when I got home, sometimes she wouldn't, sort of thing, like, you know?
Yeah.
But I had keys, I got in, made my food, whatever. But I had youth clubs to go to.
Yeah.
I had, you know what I mean? I had things to do, sports to do, and things, and like organized sports, you know? I mean, like, my oldest son, he's very much into football. I mean, he's there now playing football.
No.
I mean, he can, I mean, he's very focused. I always know where he is. Well, for two reasons. I can track his phone, so I always know where he is. But you know, it's like I don't worry about him too much, because like, he's focused on that. The youngest one, on the other hand, he's not focused on any particular sport or whatever, and he just wants to hang out with his friends. Yeah. And it's like, you know, if I say to him, well, you know, it'd be nice if they had somewhere to go. I mean, like, they do have like a youth club once a week for like 2 hours on a Friday, but that's it. I mean, back in my day, it was like, if you wanted to join the youth club, you had to join the church. Yeah. So the youth club was 3 days a week, and you had to go to church on Sunday, or otherwise you couldn't be part of the youth club. And then we'd have holiday camps, like we'd go away for 2 weeks in the summer.
Yeah.
We'd have trips and all this sort of stuff. It was just kind of like normal, you know. I mean, we even had I don't know how you put it. I mean, like, they wouldn't call it discos, but clubs for kids.
Yeah.
Now, believe it or not, I mean, some of the older people can remember this, yeah. But there was a club on Wardour Street in West End called Crackers. Now, Crackers was a proper nightclub, yeah. But on Friday afternoon, it turned itself over to children. Okay. No alcohol, obviously, but we used to have smoke machines and everything. They just like a proper disco nightclub sort of thing on a Friday. Okay. Now, to get there on a Friday afternoon, obviously we had to bunk off school to get there. You know what I mean? But kids from all over London bunked off school to go and get there. And it was a real mix. And like, that's how you sort of made friends from all parts of London. Now you look at that and what it was like, and that's like what, the 70s. And then you look back to Hyde Park with my son the other day, and it's like, you're not from the same area, so well, neither of them are from the same area, but they're going to cause trouble because you're not from their area. Whereas in my day, it was just like, wow, you're meeting people, girls, whatever, from different areas, different areas. And I honestly, I can never remember a fight or anything. That it was just everyone's just happy to be there. Yeah, everyone's just happy to be there. And like I said, I mean, you couldn't do that now. You know what I mean? I'm sure, like, you know, the authorities wouldn't allow. I don't know how they got away with it then, but it's something that, you know, a lot of people my age remembered it from all parts of London, because it was like something really special. You all got together, you know. And you know, there was other places we used to go where there was clubs on a Friday night, like, you know, sort of reggae clubs on a Friday night.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'll spit out some names in case people are listening, but we used to have like Copperston Road, we used to have Peckham Settlement. There was
Peckham, you know.
There was somewhere in Battersea, Union, something another in Battersea. But there's all these places that we go on a Friday night as teenagers. You know what I mean? It's like, it's mainly teenagers. Like, you might get someone in their early 20s there, but it's basically teenager clubs. And you know, occasionally there was trouble. I wouldn't say there was never any trouble, but compared to what I hear and see now, it's so different. Yeah. But again, I say to everyone, when everyone says to me that things are getting worse, I say to them, well, I'm not absolutely sure whether things are getting worse in every aspect. There's also the fact that we have what we have now, the internet. And everything is instantly available. News, you know what I mean? You're like, you know what I mean? It's gone from traveling fast to traveling instantly. So maybe things aren't quite as bad as we make it out to be, because, you know, people did get stabbed and whatever back in my day as well. But the reason these things happened are different to now. You know, I mean, like, no one carried zombie knives. You know, I mean, if you carry a zombie knife, it's not for self-protection.
Zombie knife, you know. What do you think is a zombie apocalypse? If some zombies gonna come out of the corner, what? A zombie knife?
you get me? You know what I mean? It's like, you know, like if you're carrying a machete, it's not for self-defense. You know, like, you're going out with the intention to do harm. And why? I mean, I really don't understand that. You know,
it ain't even worth it, is it? It's not even worth it. You know. I think there could be a few things like going back to the police thing, where police pulling over like the black youth. I think if the youth, and I'm just getting, because you obviously sell clothing, so if the youth would change the way they dress, if we'd got, maybe if we took up the Edwardian style, remember the Edwardian style or Edwardian? Maybe if we took up that style and like young black men walking around in suit. Then again, you know what? That ain't gonna work either, man. We'll still be black.
No, having said that, yeah. In my day as a teenager, I mean, I started working from 16, and where I worked, I mean, I worked in the shop, and I had to dress smart. You know, so I mean, I've seen my son. The first time I've actually seen this, I've seen my son being in handcuffs. I know he's been stopped before, and obviously he hasn't done anything, and then he's walked away. I can honestly say, in my 60 years on this earth, I have never been stopped. Not even drive. I've only been stopped once for driving, and that's just like a funny story that I won't even bother with. But that was kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like, I understood why I got stopped, and even that I got away with, sort of thing. Like, but I've always dressed smart. You know, I've always, you know what I mean? It's, you know what I mean? Even if I'm in a t-shirt and jeans, I look, you know, smart, respectable. The kids nowadays, you know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? This sagging and whatever, like, you know what I mean?
Looking like they want to be in prison. They're dressing for prison.
Exactly. exactly. And I'm like, you're drawing attention to yourself. I mean, as in my age now, if I stand at a bus stop, I still tend to stand away from the bus stop. Purely because of when I was younger. You know what I mean? If you're standing at a bus stop, they just think you're a thief. And it's not just the people standing there, it's the police as well. And they're going to stop you because you look suspicious, sus as they used to call it back then, you know? But even at my age, I still stand away. I mean, I've had someone, I'm walking through an alleyway by a church in Richmond, like a posh, rich area of Richmond. I'm walking, and not, you know, there's black people there, but, you know, it's a predominantly white area, and it's a wealthy area. And I'm walking through, like, past the church, and this old white, I mean, I'm not young, you know, but this old white woman, you know what I mean, she grabs her bag more tightly as I walk past her.
Yeah, the classic.
I mean, I'm 60 years old. I mean, you know, I'm like, I mean, it's, I've got a grey beard. I'm not your typical sort of mother, you know. Yet still, I don't know, it's just ingrained in them. You know what I mean?
It's really don't. Makes you feel like you're just living with dummies, man. You're like, oh man, these guys are stupid, man. But then again, it's also a survival mechanism. You know, if they watch too much TV, and obviously the media perpetuates the idea that all black people are criminals, especially if they're between the ages of 14 and 25. You know, that's it. That's the world we live in, I'm afraid.
Yeah. So in terms of like what to do, it's just kind of like activities, man. You mean like they need activities? They need. I mean, like they need role models. I mean, I don't know if you saw, but I mean, like a few hours ago, I put up a post on Facebook, and I said, it just simply said, name a black person you admire who's not an athlete or a entertainer. And it's hard for people.
It's really hard.
The sort of names they come back with, excuse me, are historic names.
Yeah.
It's like Marcus Garvey, Haile Selassie. Yeah. But if you, I mean, I have a look at it again later on, but there was no one current, or there was very few that are actually current.
Yeah. I think the only person that's probably current is probably Barack Obama, because he's like the most recent guy, you know what I mean? Even then again, I mean, I would say someone like Marcus Rashford, man, I think he's doing a great job at the moment.
Yeah.
He's a footballer, he's an athlete too, but if you look at his activism, then you can also say he's an activist as well. So
I mean, Lewis Hamilton, he's trying his best at the moment as well. I think it's like when they get to a certain level, they feel that they can. I mean, it's like Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's like they're not everyone's cup of tea, but they are becoming more radical. As they, I mean, it's like, I mean, I was just listening to one of their records a minute ago, and like it's one of me says like the they need me, I don't need them. I think it's like when they want him to sing at the Super Bowl, and he says like, you know, it's like no, they need me, I don't need them. And you have to get to a certain level to be able to say that. You know, so there's quite a lot of black people out there who are successful and are doing their bit, but there's quite a lot of others who want to hide because they don't want to upset their
their money, their paycheck. Actually, saying that, because I wanted to talk about, because you don't have a problem with mixed relationships. Because a lot of people who think when you think of pro-black, I'm going to quickly give a definition of it. When pro-black means we want to see black people on the same level as everybody else. Because let's be honest, we're so far behind in the race, it's unbelievable. On purpose. And then when you look at the countries that are majority black, they're like way behind as well. It's like, wait, that's a big country. How come they're still behind? Because you know, it's just not made. The system's not made for us. But obviously, what pro-black isn't is anti-white. No one hates white people. We don't have time to hate white people. You know what I mean? I've never met a black person who didn't like white people from like for the same reasons white people don't like black people. I've never met one ever in my life. I don't like him because he's white. I've never heard it. Never heard it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So basically, what I'm saying is, you're all right with mixed relationships. I believe I see you post it. You should be in love with whoever you want.
It's kind of like, I mean, like it's not really saying that, because to be honest, I've never been in a mixed relationship, and personally, I think relationships are difficult enough without bringing race into it. You know, so it's like, why would you want to complicate something that is already complicated? I mean, when I was younger, I would say I was totally against it. As I've got older, I've seen sort of family members and what have you, and it tends to be, I wouldn't say the more enlightened ones, but those who go off to college. It's usually college and university where it starts. And like they've left the black home, they've gone to the college, university, and they've found out that white boys aren't as bad as they were made out to be, or white girls weren't as bad as they were made out to be by their parents, for instance, sort of thing. And then like they come home with a partner of a different race, sort of thing, like, you know. And I've seen that quite a bit. But I think like, I mean, older generations like myself, it's like you either were or you weren't, like you don't change. I mean, like I've never changed. I mean, I've always been, you know, well, I'll say for no reason. Again, sort of historic, I suppose, but I can remember when Roots came out. When Roots came out, I was at school. So I think, or just out of school, I think it's like mid-70s, 75, 77, something like that. But when Roots came on TV, man, I'm telling you, that changed everything. Because up until then, we had, in English, black people had no idea about slavery, or, you know, there was nothing on TV, there were no books. And it was kind of like, wow, that's what they did to us. And it changed everything. You know what I mean? It changed everything for me and a lot of my contemporaries, a lot of my friends. You know, they all kind of like, you know, they had a reason, I won't say to not like white people, but they had a reason to mistrust white people. You know, and I always think, like, you know, it's like they're not all bad, and I'm not gonna say that. And I've got, you know what I mean, sort of like white family members, and you know what I mean, and white, well, I wouldn't say friends, but I mean, I've got, you know, people that I know. But like I said, I mean, I always say pro-black isn't anti-white. It just means that we still have to fight for some basic rights, which, had we been born white, would have been our birthright. And that is it. You know, it's like, you know, it's really that simple. Like, we have to be pro-black. It's not a matter of wanting to be. We have to be, because no one's promoting us. So we have to be pro ourselves. Yeah.
You know, I was thinking, because I remember my mum was kind of the same, actually. She didn't want me to get rid of it. First it was, make sure you get a black girl. And then she was like, she don't know, because, you know, because what happened when we was young, it was like, she's about the same age as you. So she was like, she saw real racism towards her people. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
We saw it as well, but we was like I'm like 38, so, you know, I'm in the 80s. I'm the 80s child. So it was still there, but we didn't really understand it. By the time we got to an age where we understood it, was kind of like, yo, that kid was racist back then.
Yeah.
So my mom started out basically like, don't bring no white people home, blah blah. And then she changed and she flipped. She was like, because then like obviously in the 90s, then all these hood rat chicks started coming out, and all these girls started acting like the American women. And I was like, don't bring one of them home. And I felt like I was stuck in the middle, like, so who should I bring home? And I was like, I'm actually a Chinese girl or something. I don't know. Played it safe. So I think that's what it is. I think the older generation weren't really for it, but like I always explained that, like I was raised in England as well, around a lot of like European people, Caucasians, and I feel like that was probably the main reason why I would have or went with white. Not because I feel like if I was raised in a place that was predominantly black, I think I would have more chance of being with someone who was black. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So and when you look at, I think there's like 4 million black people in England, I think roughly. That's not that many. That's not a lot. So you scurry and trying to find one. You're like, yo, what one? And then you got to weed out all the ones who are probably not, like, let's say lesbian. They're not, like, got bad characters. You know, they're not, you know, they're
the
not
ones your mum won't like.
Yeah. And then you're left with like 5, and they're already taken anyway because they're left for, you know, they're dating a white guy too. So it's like, oh no, I'm stuck with these guys.
I have this philosophy that I teach like my kids especially.
I
always say, like, always try and find the reason why someone does something. Because, like, you don't have to agree with it, and it's just, but if you understand why they did it, at least that helps. So it's like, you know what I mean, I can understand why some do date outside their race. I mean, you know, back in my day, you used to get like rusters, especially. they would say that, you know, it's kind of like I'm getting back at the white man by taking his woman. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like that. I mean, that's like part of their philosophy. I don't know if it still is something like, but it was like part of that being rustler. It's kind of like, you know, if you're gonna have a white woman, it's like they just getting back at the slave master sort of thing, like, you know. And you know, that mentality is kind of like, I mean, that's just out there. But like I say, if you go off to uni and you suddenly start meeting people that you never met before, sort of thing, things change. You know, I can understand why you think so. You know, it's like, you know, it's a black guy might say that, you know, white girls are different to black girls. I won't even go into like the wheres and whys, but, you know, he may come back and, like, you know, or a Chinese girl, for instance, is more subservient or whatever. Or, you know, it's like, there's things I can understand why people would do what they do, but yeah, because I understand it doesn't mean it's for me. You know what I mean? So I won't say I approve or I disapprove. It's just, hey, I understand where you're coming from. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, you do you, and I mean, I do my pro-black thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool. Like my mom she said the same thing as well. She could never date outside her race. Not that she doesn't find him attractive. She's just like, it's not me. So yeah.
I mean, that I understand. As I said, it's just, like I said, relationships are difficult enough. Like I said before, it's kind of like, bringing race into it. When I see people like a mixed race couple, and they talk about, when I was walking down the road, I could see people staring at me and this, that, and the other. I think to myself, like, why would you want to put yourself through that? It's really, I mean, it's hard enough as it is. It's
really, they got the lights on you.
Yeah. It's like, why would you want to do that? I mean, like, again, if you've seen like on Facebook, I mean, I'm a pretty big guy. I mean, I'm like 6 foot, I'm 18 stone. I do weightlifting, done it my whole life. I've always been big. So when people talk about racism, I will say, well, you know what goes over my head, mate? Because like, no one's ever been openly racist to me. You know what I mean? It's like, because I'm a big guy, no one's gonna say anything to me. You know what I mean? It's like, it's racism to me, again, in the 80s, working in not 80s, 70s even. One of my first jobs, working in Peter Jones in Sloane Square, like, John Lewis Partnership, working there. And one manager says to my manager, how's Nigel getting on? They're both Irish, okay, which makes it even worse. They're both Irish. And one manager said to her, how's Nigel getting on? And my manager goes, and I hear her, and she goes, he's working like a black around there. He's bloody marvelous. That's about, I mean, I was like 18. It's like, I mean, that they didn't even think it was. They didn't think it was racist.
Yeah, they don't know. That's why they don't know.
You know what I mean? It's like this is like 78 or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, Nigel's around the back working like a black. You know what I mean? It's like, and they just thought it was funny. It's like I stopped momentarily, it's kind of like, well, I don't know. I just carried on, just doing what I was doing. Like I didn't know what to do or say. It's just like really. I was like, I mean, it was racist, but it wasn't overtly racist, and it wasn't directed, and it wasn't directed at me. Yeah.
It's that subtle racism.
Yeah. I mean, literally, the only time I've actually had it directed at me, and looking back, I blame myself, and then that's because I back in the old days. Again, a lot of people remember these days. A lot of people used to sell life insurance, and we'd go to certain areas and knock on doors and sell life insurance. And I went through that phase myself. And we at the end of the day, we promised to meet somewhere, and it was somewhere around about Bow in East London, and we were supposed to meet. And basically, no one turned up, and I was kind of like, I was a bit like concerned as to where they might be. So there's a pub, and it's called the Bow Bells. Now, there's an old saying that says, if you're born within listening distance of the Bow Bells, it makes you a Cockney, which is another story sort of thing. Okay, so it's a proper Cockney pub. So I've stuck my head in. It's the middle of the week, and I've stuck my head in just to look to see where my friends are in there. Some of them are black, some of them are white, and or say friends, colleagues are in there. And I stick my head in, and it was packed, and it was like wall to wall white people. You know what I mean? Like men. It's like white men. It were mainly white men. That's what I remember at the time anyway. But I stuck my head in, and I was kind of like, well, I ain't going in there, and I can't see anybody. So I just turned around, and came straight back out. As I turned around, I heard someone say, "That's right, nigga, get out."
Oh God!
I didn't even look back. I just kept going. I just kept going, and then I found out later that it was a National Front headquarters, and they was having a meeting.
Okay.
So, it was kind of like,
so you're lucky.
Wrong place. It's like, I'm lucky I got away with that sort of thing. Like, I just sort of like, dashed down the road to the train station. Yeah. So, but that is my two instances of racism in my 60 years on this planet and living in London. You know what I mean? It's like, it's there, but I just think like the British are far more subtle.
Yeah, Definitely.
You know, it's like, yeah, they're not gonna sort of like, you know, you see your American Karens on video all the time, sort of thing, like saying, yeah, I mean, you black this and you black that, and yeah, but you don't really see it in England a great deal, because like it's like they will get checked by other white people, and black people here, you know what I mean, don't sort of like, you know what I mean, like, yeah. Yeah, they're not gonna like stick a video up. You know what I mean? They're gonna, you know what I mean? They're gonna react. You know what I mean? Yeah. In America, they just film it and go, you know what I mean? It's like you're live streaming, you know. But here, I don't think they get away with it. So it's just micros, whatever they call it. Yeah, micro
aggression.
Microaggressions, it's just, it's not really in your face. Like I said, I mean, I've never really come across it a great deal. But however, you know what I mean, I know that it's there. It's obvious that it's there, and it's just like, you know, it's obvious when you walk into a room and the conversation changes, or you know what I mean, it's obvious when sometimes people will say, you know what I mean, sorry Nigel, you know, I didn't mean to offend you, and I'm kind of like, sorry, what? I wasn't even listening, sort of thing. Like, it's like, what did you say? And it goes, oh yeah, never mind. I was just repeating something that someone else said. I've had those sort of instances, you know, but
racist jokes, and I hate those racist jokes. There's always somebody there who's about to say something where, you know, he's looking at you and he's like, I got a joke for you. You want to hear it? And I'm like, no, I don't want to hear it. That's what when anyone says that, when anyone's about to bring up a joke, I'm like, I don't want to hear it. No, it's all right, because I know it's going to be racist, and I ain't got time for that.
Yeah, again on Facebook recently, someone, I think some comedian called Jim Davison. I don't know if he died or whatever, or he said something racist recently. I can't remember, but his name came up, and it's like Jim Davison. And I made a comment on the post, and I said to him, yeah, I remember him. He's the one who had the black mate called Chalky, and he'd always talk about his black mate Chalky. He never saw him, but he always talks about his black mate Chalky. And you think to yourself back now, it's like, yeah. And I was like, dude, that was racist. But like, this was on TV. This is on TV in the 80s and 70s and 80s. You know what I mean?
Don't you remember Love Thy Neighbor?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You know, it's like, I mean, I tried watching something the other day with an old comedy, Sydney something another, an old white comedian, used to do the Carry On movies, Sydney something. But I tried watching this program of his. And yeah, it's white people. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a comedy that I used to watch when I was a kid. But I got into like 5 minutes, and it's just kind of like, no, this is, you know, like they're talking about, like, you know what I mean, like the black neighbor down the road. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm like, no, I can't watch this. I think so. I can't believe I used to watch this. You know what I mean? It's just like a normal comedy that was on TV all the time, but there was racism there, you know? And it's like, I mean, as a kid, like I said, we didn't even notice it, man.
I think there was more racism in British TV than there was ever in American TV. I just get the feeling that, because like, if you look at like Love Thy Neighbor and stuff like this, you know, you used to just go in on black people. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not too clued up with the American TV, man, but I just can't imagine that we had the same sort of stuff in America, you know? That's crazy.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, again, I'm old enough to remember, and your mum remember, black and white minstrels, like white people with black face. That was on TV, man. That was on TV, and I used to watch that. You know what I mean? I remember, I was like, that would be like the 60s, something like that, but I can still remember that, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I just think now, like, looking back, I just think I'm in a good position to have a overall view of pro-black and racism. And like I said in the beginning, I just want people to not to just basically, wouldn't even say be aware, but like just provoke thought in them, as in to say, like, you know, it's not, you may be in a good job, in a good position, sort of thing, like, you know what I mean, but you as a black person, but you still need to represent, you still need to comment. You shouldn't be afraid of commenting because of what your colleagues or friends may think of you and so forth. You know what I mean? I mean, I've got to that stage now where it's like, you know, I mean, I stick my name in it. I'm Nigel, this is me. I'm sure people have seen it sort of in, like, at work or whatever. And to be honest, I mean, I show it to some people, at work in the past, but I'm like, this is, like I said, I'm not anti-white. I'm just promoting Black people to do better, to have more, to support their own, the old Black pound and all that sort of thing. Like, it's kind of like, I see lots of people out there trying, but it doesn't really come to fruition greatly. Again, it's like, I look at my website, and I think my website is very good compared to others in terms of content. Like some of the others I see like real sort of like basic content, and they'll put up a black fist or something and expect someone to buy the t-shirt. Mine tend to have messages, and they have varying messages, and some are even humorous.
So this is your website.
Oh, right, sorry. Yeah, some of mine are even humorous. But I mean, like that first bit there about being pro-Black.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's just like I said, pro-Black doesn't mean anti-white. That's the first thing you see. It's like, I don't want to put anybody off looking through because they think so, oh, it's just another, Black website. It's not just about that, And but having said all that, in terms of sales, it's like this. I would expect more, especially especially with the amount of content I have and the amount of people who say they like it. But like Black people don't tend to purchase as much. I mean, I have other websites where I sell different products. I sell humorous products. I sell jewelry, for instance, and that's a wide audience. That's selling to everybody. And with those, I sell far more. So I've got a little bit of jewelry on here, but I've got like an actual jewelry website, and that does very well. But this is, I wouldn't say this is a hobby, but and it cost me money to keep the website up there.
Yeah, sure.
But I think to myself, it's worth it. Even if I made no sales, I would still do this. Just simply because I want people to be engaged and to see like see some of the messages and so forth, and that's it. I'll say it's
good stuff, man. It's good stuff. All right, so just a couple more things I want to ask you, or what you think anyway. I get your point of view on it. We need, do you agree that we need a Black beauty standard among our females? And what I mean by that is, it's time to do away with all this weave and this hair and all this crazy stuff and try and become more natural. Or do you think it's all right? What do you think?
Oh no, definitely not. You know what I mean? I mean, yes, I mean, I believe a woman, I would prefer if they didn't wear so much makeup. Can't say none, because like, like women often say, I don't do it for men, I do it for myself to make myself feel better. And I'm like, okay, I can't really, fair enough. But like, do you have to have, 3-inch long eyelashes? Can they just not be normal length? That sort of thing, And as for hair, like I said, I prefer natural hair. But again, you have to look at the reasons as to why they do it. They're never going to tell you that they have straight hair because they want to look white. They're going to tell you they want to have straight hair and whatever because it's easier to manage. There's 1,000 reasons why they do it, but none of them are because they're trying to have white or they're being like white standards are affecting them. It's kind of like like they're trying to. No woman's going to say that. So it's a great idea. I totally agree. And like I said, I hate all that weave and this, that, and the other. And like it falling off everywhere, and it's like the bathroom's always full of it. And trust me, I know. You know what I mean? I know.
There's a rat. Like a little rat in the house. Like, what is that? Is your wig? What are you got a wig on for, man?
I'm being a little more low key now. I've just heard the front door, so I think my wife's come home. So
she'll chop you in the back of your neck.
But but nothing she doesn't know already. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to let them know. I'm always at my sisters as well. I'm like, hey man, guys, like, because I saw it with my daughter already, because my daughter's like 7 now, and a couple of years ago she was all like, yeah, I want straight hair, I want it to be long, and she started trying to put all this stuff in, like she wanted those extensions, and that was the way the indoctrination was starting. I was like, yo, your hair's fine the way it is. You look good.
Yeah.
Don't let all this other stuff, like, you look different, but you look good. Don't let the rest of the stuff worry you. And now she likes her hair, so.
Yeah, it's all your Beyoncés and so forth, you know what I mean, with their wigs and stuff, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, I mean, they do it because they want to be popular with a bigger audience.
Yeah.
But a young black child seeing that doesn't realize that. Yeah. They just think that's normal. You know what I mean? It's just like that's a beauty standard, you know what I mean? And it's like it's a real shame, man. It's a real shame. Yeah. But you know, but like I said, no black woman's gonna say I do it because I want to look more like white people. You know what I mean? It's just like they'll make any other excuse or reason, but they'll never admit that. Yeah. And it's subjective, not subjective, it's subconscious. It's like, you know, they don't realize. And even if they do, they're offended if you point it out. So yeah, you can't really win.
No. What I do want to point out is that, going back to, because you said something about the few promies who are doing some stuff. I think they're not doing hardly enough. They need to do more. I think every black person who makes it, and the only thing is, you know, the thing is, what annoys me the most, that prominent black people are always in sports, so they're tied to sponsorship, or they're in like acting, so they're tied to probably sponsorship, or the chance of getting another job. You know, if we could just start our own companies and then make the companies great, and then go on like Elon Musk, start a company like Elon Musk, and you could mess around like this guy on Twitter and stuff and say whatever you want, and people listen to you. You know, you can do that. Yeah. But if you're an actor, if you're on the white man's payroll, whether you're a footballer or if you own a football club, that's something else. But if you're a footballer, you're on somebody's payroll, you can't talk if they say you can't talk, and that's it. So
I mean, Big Shaq said the best, man, or someone said the best about him when they said like, Shaq is really rich, man. You know what I mean? And he's like, and he goes, well, yeah, he is, but he works for a white guy who's really wealthy. Yeah. There's a big difference between wealthy and rich. You know what I mean? It's like, he may have all these Ferraris and all this sort of thing, and you know what I mean? But like he's wealthy boss, owns islands and things, and exactly. He doesn't shout about it as much. You know what I mean? If at all. So again, it's like, you know, black standards. You know what I mean? It's like you know.
But you probably don't even know the boss at it. You don't even know the boss. You've never seen him. You just know that he put somebody into the club and then whatever. I
mean, like, my son supports Chelsea, and he didn't know that the owner of Chelsea cannot come over here to watch matches anymore. You know, it's like, I mean, when they played in Portugal the other day, he was there, but he can't come to England to watch his own team. Yeah. You know, because I don't feel, I can't remember what it was. It was taxes or something, or
something.
Something happened. I can't remember what it was now, but he hasn't been able to watch his own team for over a year or so. You know what I mean? Like my son supports him, didn't even know that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, I said like wealthy is not rich, man. You know what I mean? So, I'll give you a good example. Again, I put it on Facebook a couple of days ago. A black guy wins the lottery, wins $30,000 on the lottery. Okay, he then spends $20,000 on a gold chain. Okay. 20 out of 30, yeah? He goes back to the same shop to go and buy another ticket. And while he's there, he gets mugged of his chain. The circle of life, you know what I mean? Exactly.
It is like that though, isn't it, really? That's it.
No, it's like, what can you say to that? You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? 30,000, spends 20,000 on a gold chain. You know what I mean? Like, he isn't no sort of like, he's not rich or whatever, so he can just afford it. It's just like, he's just an ordinary working Joe doing the lottery, and he got lucky and he spent 20 on the chain, and then he got mugged from the chain in the same shop they bought the ticket. Yeah. I mean, that's just so ironic, man. You know what I mean?
You know, saying that though, black people need to really start getting into things like invest in even the cryptocurrency. I don't know if you know much about that, but you should try and get on the ball a little bit, especially for your kids. You should let them know and let them get into it, because in the future, if they buy now, for example, and learn it now, in the future they'll be good to go. So that's important that black people need to start really getting included.
Must be my 16-year-old. He's into that already. Like he he buys things with cryptocurrency, and you know what I mean, yeah, he's a bit secretive about it, sort of thing. Like, but you know, but I'm kind of like, you know what I mean, you go, son. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, like it is the future. You know what I mean? So you know, yeah, so good on him.
Definitely. And that, obviously, saying that to black people need to start doing jobs where, you know, they need to move away. Because like I've said to my kids, I said to my wife, and I said, I don't want my kids doing no sports. not because I like them to do sports. I want them to do it as fun, but I don't want them to take it serious. Like me, I tried to be a musician for the longest time. I wasted the best part of 20 years trying to make it in an industry that was with the odds stacked against me. Now, if I would have took those 20 years and studied to be, I don't know, a pilot or something, or engineer, you know, I probably wouldn't be doing this.
You're doing a good job, though. Yeah, you're doing a good job. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm doing all right, but I'm doing all right because I've been like, you know, how do you say, I've been just basically nicking a living, basically, like just coasting through life, trying to get what I can from what I have. You know what I mean? But I look at the last 20 years and I'm like, man, I can't believe I tried. No one told me, you know, and that's one of the things that happens when you don't have a father around or someone who's in front of you. So you don't get told.
I mean, that for me, that is so frustrating when my boys like ignore my advice, because I will say to them, I'm your father. I will not give you bad advice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I will say to them, you know what I mean, the best way to learn is not through your own mistakes, but through someone else's mistakes.
Yeah, yeah.
So I can tell you what I've seen, and I can advise you what to do. You know what I mean? And I was just like, I wish someone had told me. You know what I mean? Just simple things about driving, and you know what I mean. And I wouldn't even say about girls and so forth, but you know, there's so many things that I wish I had someone to tell me when I was like those formative years, like mid-teens. You know what I mean? Like late teens, especially, because like your body goes through a lot, and a lot of things happen. You know, so I'm kind of I'm more, I wouldn't say lenient, but I'm more understanding because they are boys than say my wife is going through this age, because I know what I was up to.
Yeah.
So I think to myself that, you know, they're not bad. It's not everything is their fault. You mean, it's just circumstances. So excuse me. It's just don't worry. It's not wine. It's grape juice.
I was gonna say that's a big glass of wine, man.
Yeah, but like, I mean, for teenagers in general, it's hard. But I mean, like boys, they just need direction, and it's just so hard to find.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, you're lucky if you have like a good teacher, for instance. I mean, like both of them actually, both boys have gone to schools where they have black male teachers.
Yeah, great.
In my days, didn't exist.
No, me too.
I mean, like my best friend, he's a teacher. So again, I'm lucky in terms of I can always ask him for advice, or like, you know, books to read, or that sort of thing. Like, you know, it's you. And like he'll even talk to my boys for me on occasions. And again, it's that sort of that mentoring, you know, having sort of, you know, even if the father's not in the house, you know, I mean, women need to understand that boys need mentors, you know.
Yeah,
it's like,
sure.
You know, I mean, single black women tend to mother their baby, you know, simply, I was right, mother their babies. I mean, like they make, you know, they try to sort of smother them. And it's like protect them and keep them home, and you know what I mean. Whereas like my boys, it's always been, you know, it's like rain, sun, shine, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I've got pictures with them outside in the snow. I've got pictures with them outside in the rain. I've got pictures with them covered in mud and whatever. I've got things where it's like, you know, like you hear me saying, "Don't tell your mother." You know what I mean? But it's all like building character, and for them not to be afraid, you know. I mean, like when those boys approached my boy in Hyde Park, I mean, he's 16, he's 6 foot, and he's 14 stone, so he's a big lad.
Yeah.
And he can look after himself. However, he didn't respond. You know what I mean? It's like him and his other sort of 5 mates. They could, you know what I mean? Like they could have responded, but they didn't.
Yeah.
And I said to my son, I don't know whether that's because like you were the example sort of thing, like, but I hope that's the reason why. Because it's like, I mean, it's like there's no point losing your life over a hat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, you may look at them and think to yourself, you know what, I could knock him out if I want. But, you know, he may have a weapon, or they did have weapons, they showed him the weapons. And plus, he never did tell me how many of them there was. I know that he was him and his 5 friends. He didn't tell me how many and they were sort of thing like, but whatever. I just think to myself, like, I like to think that it's because of the way he's been brought up, is the way he reacted, you know, and he acted sensible in that situation. Yeah. Yeah, whereas some kids were like the kid the following day. Again, you don't know what happened, but the kid the following day might have reacted in some way, and that's why he got chased down. Yeah,
actually, I remember when I was in Thailand, actually, there happened to some guy. He was a bit more one of those rebel guys, and he reacted, and then he ended up getting killed, man. So, yeah, but reacting doesn't make sense sometimes. Sometimes it's best just say, you know what, I'll live to fight another day. It's just stuff. It's material stuff. I don't care. Yeah.
I mean, I would say to my son, the bigger you are, the bigger target you are.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I mean, I said, I'm a big guy, so like I totally understand it sort of thing, like, and it's, you know, it's like, you know, just because you're big,
doesn't mean nothing.
It doesn't mean anything. I mean, you know, I've always found, you know, when I was younger, that, you know, I mean, like, big guys tend to not know how to fight because they don't have to. Because they don't have to. They just sort of like, they're just big and intimidating. Yeah. But they don't actually know how to fight. You know what I mean? So yeah, and you know, I mean, some people do realize that, and they will go for you. That you think to yourself like, they're not going to go for me because I'm bigger than him. But some people realize that you may not know how to fight, or they may just be more aggressive, or they may just have a weapon. Yeah. You know? So I said, just walk away, man. There's no shame in walking away. Yeah. You know?
Okay, so the last question or last topic for today would be, obviously, you know about the Windrush generation. You wasn't in there though, which you had the Windrush. You're not from, was you born? The thing is, I heard there's people who were born in England, but still, or was it the people who came over when they were young? How did that work, Windrush?
It was those who came over. So like and generally, I think it's generally when they came over without their parents. So it's like they came over, the parents came first, and then they came after. Yeah. So I think those are the ones that sort of like slipped through the net, as it were.
Yeah. So I think my dad would have went back then. Would have sent him back. So what's your view on like black people thinking, you know what, let's go back to our home. Let's go back to, you're from Trinidad or Tobago?
Barbados.
Barbados. Yeah, I'm Jamaican, obviously, my parents, and then obviously you got the Africa countries. What's your view on that stuff?
In what way? Sorry, in what way?
Do you think it would be maybe time that we decide to say, you know what, why do we stay here? Why do we stay in this country?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, again, I mean, yeah, as a good example, I'll take myself. I mean, personally, I mean, my mother's passed, but my dad still lives in Barbados. And I think, having been there lots of times, I mean, I think to myself, like, you know, I would love to live there. However, my wife has 5 younger sisters. And her mum and everyone, all the rest of the family, got a huge family. Whereas I don't have a huge family here, sort of thing, but my wife has a huge family, and she would never leave England. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And it's just like, that's it. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, okay. Again, I understand why. May not agree entirely, sort of, you know, but I understand, as it were, like, you know. So, you know, so like going back home, it's kind of like, for someone who's like me, who's born here, what is home anyway? Yeah. You know what I mean? I like Barbados, and I'd like to try to live there. But the reality is, I don't know if I could. I mean, it's a small island. There's not much to do. There's not much employment, etc., etc. If I went back there, I would have to be self-employed the same way. I mean, there are no jobs, sort of thing, like, you know. So like, it's a nice thought, but the reality is, you know what I mean? We have, I mean, like my parents, me, my children, my grandchildren. In my lifetime, it's like 4 generations here already. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like my older daughters, they both have kids. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah. I mean, like they're English. I mean, they're Black British. You know what I mean? The classic Black British. Like, yeah. So it's like, where do you really go? It's like, I mean, that's why I think people feel so away when they said like, you know, like go back home, or you know what I mean,
it's I'm home.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like home, South London, mate. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I'm more London than, you know what I mean? I even talk more London than most people that I know, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, so it's like, this is it. You just, you know, you're like, you may not accept me, but I'm here. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, we're, you know what I mean? It's, you know, I can't remember who said, but someone famous said something on the lines of, in a few generations, the whole world's going to be brown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know, it's you know what I mean, like the whites are becoming the minority, and I think that's what they fear, that they can see it.
I think they've always been the minority though. I think there's like, I think when you split it up, 1 million of the 7 billion people on the planet are white, and that's it. And the rest are occupied by everyone else who's our shade or a bit lighter, or everything in between.
Yeah.
So they're all in the minority. It's not a bad thing. I mean, it's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. You know, everyone's got their place, and you know, it'll be sad when the oppressors are gone. You know, we don't want the oppressors to go. We need them. You know, we need them. Who's gonna tell us we can't do stuff? You know, who's gonna tell on us?
Yeah, it's motivation, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I will do better. I'll show them. You know what I mean? You know? So I get that. I get that as well, man. I get that indeed. You know. So so that's my, like I said. I mean, I said I'm just that. I mean, I think I'm very I wouldn't say young for my age, but I think so. Like I've seen a lot, so I've got a lot of different perspectives, and I still think that, so like I'm very active. I mean, I can remember my dad at 60, all he talked about was retirement sort of thing, like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, you know, he was very different to myself and some of my friends as well. You know, like some of my friends, they're just sort of like, you know, sort of like 40, and they're sort of like, life is over. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know, whereas others are like myself, and it's like they still do sports, and they still want to be active, and they still want to do something for the community.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, I mean, you know, like whatever your skill is, I just think to myself, my skill is writing. I can, you know, I do poetry, I do logos, I do all sorts of stuff, and I try to like focus on a niche, which is being pro-black. Like I said, having said that, I've got other stuff where I sell jewelry as well, and it's like, you know, but those are all sort of like sidelines. But my passion is pro-black, and like I said, even if I made no money from it, I would still continue to do it, because it's necessary. Yeah. I just like, I mean, when someone makes a comment, and they just simply say something on the lines of, "Wow, that was so well said." You know what I mean? Like that means, you know what I mean, they don't need to buy anything. They, you know, just that one comment on my Facebook said like, "That was so well said."
No.
That means that means a lot to me, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It means that I got my point across to one person at least. You know what I mean? It's like one person understood what I was trying to say.
Yeah, right.
And there's nothing more important than that.
Awesome. Okay.
So that's an hour.
Yeah, that's about an hour, yeah. I'll give you the floor, man. Let us know where we can find you.
Okay.
Mr. Nigel Williams. He's got like the same name as my mum. Might be related.
Yeah. With that accent, I don't think so. I'm only joking. But yeah, so I mean, it's you saw the website earlier. Like the website is literally very simple. It's Problack Market. Yeah. That's it. If you just type, you don't even need a dot. You just type that in. It comes up in the search straight away. Problack Market. Obviously, I'm on Facebook and Instagram as well. Again, just type in Problack Market. I'm there. Like I said, just selling clothing, etc., some jewelry, bits and pieces, all relating to being pro-black. And yeah, I mean, I will say, like, I love my black people, and I do it for my people. You know what I mean? It's like there's, you know, the monetary aspect of it. Trust me, isn't worth. You know, like you know what I mean? It's like for the time I put in. You know what I mean? Like the money I get back isn't a great deal. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's not about the money. And I said, I'll just do it because I enjoy doing it. And yeah, I just like, it's just a great way to engage with like-minded people.
Yeah, sure. And that's how I found you as well. So
like yourself, yeah.
Yeah, keep it up, man. Keep, you know, even if you don't make it, like, I'll do this and it's free, you know, it's voluntary. I don't get paid anything, but I like doing it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. I get to meet people like yourself, and I've spoken to so many different people from all kinds of different backgrounds. I had a guy last week, man, he was just completely not in my spectrum, man. He was like some real T, I don't know, banker, billionaire, man. I was like, who's this geezer? but it was all right, you know. I was speaking to us, like, yeah, all right, and good. Yeah. So you got some people like this. Anyway, yo, Mr. Nigel, okay. I just got one last question. You like football? You like football?
I watch. Well, yeah. Well, I know.
You follow a team? You follow any teams?
Oh, you're gonna love this. I was born across the road from West Ham football ground.
Oh, okay.
And of course, everyone supported West Ham. So I just picked a team. It's like, bear in mind, this is the 60s, yeah? I picked a team in the 60s, and I've stuck with them ever since. And believe it or not, it's Manchester City.
Oh, no! So it's all paid off now. Look, see?
It took a long time. It took a long time. Sometimes but I've stuck with them since the 60s, man.
You know, like, obviously I'm an Arsenal fan, so you know me. And like, obviously, when I started supporting them, they were just about to start winning things. So it was like 89.
Yeah.
So just, like, it would have been that season when we won the double. Beat Liverpool, and since then, like, we started winning, and now we're just losing. That's it. So we're like the Manchester City of old.
All goes around in cycles, man, circles. You know what I mean? So
let's hope. Wow, yeah, if it's going to do that, we're going right to the bottom.
They'll have their time again. Anyway, really appreciate it, man.
Thanks, man.
So I say,
we'll stay in touch.
Yeah, definitely, man. You know, I said about. I mean, I'm on your like Facebook and things like that. I mean, so I mean, now that we've done this, I think I will sort of like spend more time actually like looking at some of the interviews, because I didn't want to look at the interviews until I'd spoken to you, so I didn't want to make an impression, as it were, sort of thing. But this has been fun, man. Appreciate it.
Actually, might have a spot for you on here too, man. You might want to come on a bit often, because obviously you got the black message, and this is made for you.
Yeah, I said like we'll keep in touch, and like we can collaborate in some way.
Yeah, sure.
I'm definitely up for that, man. Definitely up for that. You know what I mean? Like I said, I just do it for the love of it, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's nice to see someone else do, you know, who has the same sort of mindset.
Yeah.
You know?
Cool, man.
All right, then. All right. So
I'll catch up with you on the rebound.
Yeah, definitely. We'll speak soon. I said, I love this, enjoyed it, and yeah, man, best of luck to you in the future, man.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Thank you, man, Nigel. We'll catch up. See you in a bit.
Yeah, we'll do.
Bye.
Bye now.